I've had so many customers come in here and say, I've never seen them, and how often you had just left. That has really happened more often than not.
Happy to help. I got to do my part.
Breakfast of Champions.
I have to entice you to do these videos. It's like dragging a horse to
Maybe
water.
Maybe not the best enticement.
And so I stick to silver and gold. But, you've got, what is there? There's platinum, palladium, rhodium, or whatever. How much of that stuff, number one, how much of that stuff do you sell? You look tired.
It's been a long week.
I brought you your coffee.
I know you're the man.
I got you your Dunkin' Donuts Boston cream.
Demolished that already. Well, I haven't eaten breakfast yet, so that's a big deal.
It's important.
I'm a breakfast guy.
Are you?
Yeah.
I didn't eat breakfast either. I'm just going to go with this. I need to drop like 10 pounds. So
I actually went shopping this morning because we usually make like an omelet in the morning, egg type of things. My wife and I, and we have a nice breakfast every day.
Healthy food.
We were out of everything, so.
So what'd you do? Nothing.
I went shopping.
You relied on me.
No, instead of going, I did. The Dunkin' Donuts really did it. Yeah.
I'm happy to help. I got to do my part.
Breakfast of Champions.
I have to entice you to do these videos. It's like dragging a horse to water.
Maybe not the best enticement.
I will keep bringing you the donuts if I need to.
Here we go.
But I came in. It's funny because you're like, hey, what are we talking about? Like, I don't freaking know. We're just gonna do this on the floor, on the fly. Yeah. I think the people like it better.
All right.
So I did come up with a couple actually questions I wanted to ask you, and I think I did ask you this once in the past. But I think for the viewers that haven't, seen that particular video or what have you, I figured I would ask you again. Why on earth are you in the precious metals business? Why are you a coin dealer? Like, what made you one day decide, what? I want to do this.
That's a story, man. So, I worked in corporate America, as you know. Maybe a lot of people don't know. I was actually a power plant engineer, power generation engineer, technically. Long hours, rotating shift, like stupid hours I was working. I did that for a long, long time. The rotating shifts and the long hours started paying its toll on me. I'm like, dude, I'm not dying for this job. It's just not worth it for me. So my health was starting to take a beating, and I was like, I need to find something else. So I just quit, to tell you the truth, and I just took a few months to find myself. And in the process, I was looking at some other business ventures, 3 to be exact.
Wasn't one like a tree?
Yeah, well, I started my life cutting trees. I mean, that's what I was, man. My father, my uncle, it was family business, was a tree service, and I was pretty much born with a chainsaw in my hand.
Okay.
So I did that. I actually cut trees until I was in my mid-20s.
So then, but like what? Did you grow up collecting coins? Like coins
were a big part of my life. So I grew up in an old farmhouse, and we were doing some renovation work in there, and I was in charge of cleaning all the sheetrock leftovers between the studs, and in there I found the buffalo nickel. And I was like 5 years old, and I was fascinated. I was like, I never saw one before. I was the coolest thing on the planet, you know. So, of course, I was in grammar school, so I went down to the library, and I used to take the Coin World magazine out, and I would just look at it, and I dream of all the coins and all the stories and all the stuff. I think I looked at more of the pictures than I did the reading, but anyway, that's what started my coin fascination as a kid. And then on that same farm out back were some outbuildings that when it rained really hard, all of the water would run down and go down like this little wash. I don't know what you want to call it. I don't know. It's where the water ran. And oftentimes it would wash coins up to the surface. Like, so I'd walk down, it was bare dirt, and there'd be like an Indian head penny there. Or
so this was your family's farm?
It wasn't my family's farm. My father actually rented the farmhouse.
Okay. And there just happened to be like flipping treasure.
Like much, it would rain, and I really wish that I could have metal detected that place.
Oh,
man. I just wasn't. We were very.
Where was this, in New Jersey?
It was actually like South Brunswick, Cranberry area. Yeah, when it used to be all farmland.
Did I tell you I lived over in Cranberry?
No, I don't think you
over by like Plainsboro and like Princeton area.
That's where I grew up. Yeah.
That's a small world.
Oh boy, here we go.
So then, in your adult life, though, like you said, I'm done with this power generator, whatever, power plant engineer job.
So while I was an engineer, I was making decent money. So, and I always loved coins. So what I started doing was like on my little bit of time off, I would go to estates, and I started buying estates. Sometimes I would get into an estate that was well over my head. And I had a mentor at the time, or actually it was my local coin shop guy that I was doing business with. And I would call him and say, hey, I got this. Like, he'd give me instruction on how to buy the lot or whatever it was I was looking for. Or sometimes, if it was a big estate, he would come with me, we'd buy it together.
Okay.
So, and then he would show me how to sell the different kind of stuff. So I sort of was dabbling really inadvertently. I wasn't doing it on purpose. I was just enjoying myself. So I grew to have a good relationship with him. And when I was out of work for that time, he actually approached me and asked me if I wanted to open a store. He's like, Steve, you already know the business. We've done this together. There's things you're going to have to learn. He goes, but I'm willing to back you 100% if you're interested in opening a store. We had a trust already. So we knew each other. He trusted me. I trusted him. So that wasn't really a hurdle. And I thought, I tell you the truth, I had never considered doing that. Never thought
So
about
he
it.
planted the seed.
He did. In a couple of weeks, I ran it past my wife, and my wife said, absolutely not. And
that's usually how it
here
always...
I am.
Usually that's always how it goes.
That's how it worked, man.
Always how it goes. And now, I forget what the statistic is, but they say, there's, I forget what is it, 80% of like new businesses fail or something like that. I forget what the,
I don't know what
it's
the
a high
statistics
statistic, but
I had an upper hand in it anyway because I was coming into this business with somebody who'd been a veteran for 35, 40 years.
Yeah, but you could have still run the business into the ground.
Quite definitely. But again, remember something though. He had a really successful business, and I used him, or should say, he coached me on the rights and wrongs and how to do this and be able to be successful. It took a while. Don't get me wrong. For the first year and a half I was in here, I didn't take a paycheck. I literally went a year and a half without. I made zero.
Yeah. But
I
now
actually sold some of my coins because of that, just to keep myself
just to keep
afloat.
going.
I did.
And see now though, you've realized the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah,
like you're continuing
I knew
to grow.
that there was a lot of potential in this business. It was a nice way to make a living, and it's something I really like to do.
Yeah.
So it made sense.
You're also in a great spot. Like there's no, I get so many comments on videos for people that just stumble across the channel.
Yeah.
And then they see you and like, I had no idea that this store was over there. I'm gonna have to check them out, and like there's nothing near me. And then I get comments from people from New York, like there's nothing here.
Yeah,
for
we've
like
had people come
45
from
miles.
all over the place. I've had people from Delaware. I've had people from Western Pennsylvania. In fact, there's a guy just called me from Canada. They're going to be down here visiting some family, and they wanted to come see the store and
Cool.
possibly purchase some things.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, sure, whatever you want to do, absolutely.
You need to have some sort of like thing in here, like a guest book to see like how far the people have traveled.
That's not a bad idea,
from,
actually. That's a pretty good idea.
And then the people that come in, they'll see like, oh man, you got people from Canada coming here, people from Pennsylvania, North Carolina coming up here.
That's not a bad idea, actually. Yeah. We'll have to maybe see that.
See, that's good.
This is how we brainstorm.
I think though, but like, it's cool too because it shows just how far the reach of your store is.
Well, honestly, it's all from YouTube. All of that is from YouTube.
Social media is
so
the
much
wave.
bigger. Well, social media is so important too, right? Because you think about something. So you have a brick and mortar. How many people realistically from any area are going to visit your brick and mortar? Maybe a few hundred. Let's say 500 on a really good day. And I doubt it's probably far less than that, honestly.
Right.
But whatever, we'll just use numbers. Without social media, like eBay or things like that, or on this case, the YouTube, you're reaching such a broader audience, and that definitely helps bring people from further distances. And when they are visiting, they come and see you.
And like you said, there have been a couple of times where people have come in almost like starstruck of you.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
And
too. I don't think about that at all. Like people come in, they're like,
right,
"Oh, it's you." I'm like, "It is." It's something on my shirt. Like, what's up? He's like, I can't believe it's you. I watch your YouTube videos, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's a cool feeling, though. You got to admit, it's a cool feeling. It's like it's surreal.
It's
but
almost
it's a cool
awkward
feeling.
for me, to be honest with you. I'm not used to that exposure. Like I'm not. That's not me. It's just not. I'm not. Whatever. It's cool, I guess.
Well, you were here the one time recently, where the one guy's like the man, the myth, the legend to me, but you could see like I love that sort of thing.
Yeah, right.
But I'm not like a dick about it. Like
No, you are.
I am. I shake their hands and talk to them.
you're
I
totally
think
cool. Yeah,
I think it's cool that like people, that it shows that what we're doing is working, that they're finding the channel, that they're finding the store, that they recognize us, and that they appreciate the content enough that they want to come in here and speak to you, or if they see me, they want to talk to me.
Yeah, well, that's fun. I find that actually I enjoy that more than people saying, "Hey, it's you."
Right.
When they see you in here, I've had so many customers come in here and say, I've never seen him, and how often you had just left. That has really happened more often than not.
Yeah.
I'm like, he literally just walked out 10 minutes ago. Like, what? And they continue to come because I think they want to run into you.
Yeah.
It's so funny. That I enjoy. Or when they do run into you, you're like sitting over there minding your own business, like, no.
Right. Eventually the cat's out of the bag. Or I speak and they hear me and they're like, oh, I know you.
I know that voice. Like, what? You see the triple take and like, oh, it's you.
especially back when I used to wear the helmet, like when I used to hide my face on there. We're going to break this little chat into a couple segments. So those of you that are watching, you've complained in the past, like, I would have watched the whole thing. We're going to be breaking this into a couple segments because a lot of you guys don't have the attention span to stick through the whole thing. But I did want to ask you about a couple medals that I've never bought. I know nothing about them, and it's like one of those things, I don't want to learn a new metal. And so I stick to silver and gold, but you've got, what is there? There's platinum, palladium, rhodium, or whatever. How much of that stuff, number one, how much of that stuff do you sell in terms of like percentages, like only like 5% of your overall?
Yeah, 5% is probably a really good number.
Okay, so it's more almost like obscure in a way.
They're exotic metals.
Okay,
really. So platinum by far the top, the
more
leader of all of that. The rhodium, palladium is very, very distant, second and third.
Why do people stack those metals? Like I can understand the silver and gold. But why like the rhodium and the palladium? Like I just don't see the benefit.
It's got the potential for the biggest gains, right?
Yeah.
So rhodium was astronomically expensive at one point in time, and I don't want to quote a number because I don't remember exactly where it was.
Was that like the stupid number, like 20,000 an ounce or something?
I believe it was. It was somewhere in that range if I remember correctly. But again, I don't want to quote numbers because I'm not sure right where it was. But I know it's like $7,000 an ounce now or better, if I remember correctly. And again, I don't dabble with that every day, so I'm not really on top of it, but. I just sold a little bit of rhodium a few weeks back, and I think that the out-the-door cost was, I want to say, somewhere definitely between $7,000 and $9,000. I know that's a big range, but it's not $30,000. You know what I mean? So it's an expensive metal. A lot of people don't have the finances to jump into metals like that. I mean, it's pretty underwhelming when you spend $8,000 on 1 ounce of whatever.
Right. Right.
Dan, what's up? You got to bear with me.
We're gonna pause.
Yeah, we're doing a video. It's all good. We can hit the pause button. You can edit.
I can
I
edit.
just want to watch.